Greasy Grove. Big Elim's coming through, 2 back-to-back, setting these guys up. No taco time to stop the mid-game fight either. These guys are going to be moving through, have all the...
Yeah, just like that. You wrap that team up real quick. You saw a little bit of taunting coming out there from H-Man. You know, Dampton a little premature before the taco time. It's okay. He's got to get his groove on somewhere or another. He's probably going to make it to his Instagram before the day's up. Here, let's take a look at the loadouts. The loadouts pretty rough. Just a shotgun, couple shields. Okay. Gonna be able to grab some of the spores of war here, and now we're talking. Now he's looking like a real Fortnite gamer here. He's got something to work with here in the game today. Opting to farm up this metal. It's very nice. Gonna set him up for success.
Yeah, it was a super early game fight. You see the contrast of the actual loadout at the same time, right? We have full fleshed out loadouts all the way at Sunny, and now in Greasy we have people just starting up. The big thing about having Greasy free as well is the farm rate and everything around that too. You have everything set up for you. The momentum's there. You're always comfortable. And it's a very easy way to kind of segment and know exactly when and what to build. You're never worried about missing anything mid-game.
And also remember, ladies and gentlemen, Storm Surge is active. So honestly, you kind of want players to land on you at your POI. I know in a perfect world, you beat Storm Surge and you get a...
unless you find a llama, and so many spots of natural cover to move around is very unpredictable, right? And the top player's worst nightmare is kind of being in a fight in an unpredictable scenario. You have to kind of react to what's on your screen. If you have more than one person focusing you down, that's even worse for you, right? You're always back against the wall. You want to have everything available for you. You want to have some room. So 100% I agree. Early game is something that's very hard to perfect and very hard to kind of prep for when you're playing in the game. It usually just gets thrown onto you.
And these guys are using all this retail row, kind of extra loot to really capitalize and find the perfect loadout. So Yonks is going to get a big upgrade right there. Going from a great tactical shotgun up to a legendary shotgun, legendary tactical. We've seen multiple players, even in that, you know, rare European game one we got to catch. Now, I call it rare because you guys know the issues that kind of unfolded today. We saw players, pro players, taking the gold tack over the blue pump, even when it needed most. Players needed it the most, right? You needed that one pump. People were still opting to rock out with the gold tack.
Yeah, the meta for a lot of players and the way they play and take peaks, they use the combat for so much time of the season. They're used to having more bullets to send through. They're used to having, you know,
the fire rate.
Yeah, the fire rate as well, right? It's just the biggest thing they're not used to and they have to kind of adjust to is the pull-out time of that gold and purple tack, because it is slower than all the other shotguns available right now in the loot pool.
Here's Zanzis. So they're going to use hoverboards to get away from the trio that's to the left, or maybe they didn't even realize they're actually firing off in the distance there. So little do they know, someone is already up close and personal, but there it is. The sound cue is given off, and he's actually spotted by Zephyr, who's got the perfect pinch on this player, and Zanzis, who's got the nice range as well with the explodes here. Shield Bubble is going to isolate this player from Zephyr, and Zephyr loses the 1v1.
Shield Bubble absolutely isolates. The big thing about this side of the map, too, is how spread out and isolated you are from the get-go. So much of a split is going on just for looting purposes that when a fight starts, you have to act quick to get back to your team. Fast builds from Zanzis, though. Shockwaves coming through. Still a block off. The tack shots not missing a single one out of 8 in his clip. Zanzis is on point right now. Metal's not going to stop his beam from coming through into your box. A two-way split on pressure on the box as well. I hear a minigun in there too, Monster. This is insane.
It's going down right now. He's not missing any shots. Happy that you noted that, because there's knock players everywhere. Wisa goes down. Normally when it's me and I got a tack shotgun, I have a million excuses to figure out why I'm not, you know, landing or damaging, but it doesn't matter. Zanz is showing that you can hit your shots, you're gonna win your fights. And that's exactly how this battle has turned around, because Zephyr was the first to get traded. They're doing so good. Invoke's going to fall down now as well, which means that last player is very weak, because Zanzis already got 2 knocks here. So let's see how he goes to execute and kind of seal the deal here. So he walks right around, and there he goes. Catches Invoke.
Absolutely no hesitation at all to use any type of utility. Not a certain pattern we usually see. People are more safe and scarce with what they want to use in a fight, especially this early. Mid-game, I understand, throw your 6 stinks. But this Sans has just used, I think, upwards of his entire rocket clip with what the GL came with as well. And the minigun ammo, no care for it at all. I think we just dropped down from like 600 to 200. Still reaping the benefits.
You know what they say? If you can't take it with you back to the lobby, so you might as well throw it out there, because the worst thing is to get taken out of a game and be like, man, I still had those splashes. I knew I should have padded right there, right? Or, kind of have those regrets. So, good on them to kind of throw it all at the wall when it mattered, because their teammate got taken out first. Effort lost. So you might as well throw everything to really take the tide and take take the bull by the horns in that situation, I should say. But taking a look at the other side of the map, we have Eska, Toggle, Seagull on the run here from a team behind them. They put some pressure on squads kind of floating around, launch padding above.
And when the zone gets pulled down from this angle, from on the entire map, this bone spot, the whole Sakura Flower field, is a very interesting place where a lot of trios actually converge. A lot of the POIs on that side of the map usually don't waste too much time actually getting bricked from, but if you have that mentality because you just want to go and farm the teeth, every other trio has that mentality as well. There's so much brick available, as you can see, on the lake, on the actual rock behind you guys, the whole skull. But the big issue is if every trio is thinking that way, this is what ends up happening. A huge fight that blows out, stinks being thrown, a lot of utility being used, including defensive utility like campfires and bubble shields, will have a lot of engagements that you probably don't want to take just because you're on the same page as some other trios in the early game.
And those are some amazing stinks right there to really put the pressure on these players down here. But there's someone in Tilted Town who's actually firing back. There's another squad on the mountain just to the side of that as well. So suddenly what looked like a free push and a free takeout on the squad here in the river is now turned into a really odd situation because they're surrounded by multiple players. RSG Spirit tries to skate away there on the hoverboard. He's going to get picked off immediately by this trio right now. They say, you know what? We caught a freebie over here. Let's go back. Let's get that loot and forget these guys on the river. They'll live to see another day for now.
Yeah, big cost to their resources, though. A lot of, I think, would ultimately just expend it to push that fight. Easily farmable up once again, but we did see so many trios rotating through here. Will there actually be much left at the moment, or will they have to get it on the fly moving forward as well? These guys seem to not stop. It just toggles on 24/7. Fights are on all the time. Not sure why there's just it's a 2-box kind of defensive base right now, but the less boxes you have, the more opportunity for a big pop-off moment. Spirit getting released all the way to that knockdown state. It's a box wall-to-wall fight right now. It's going to be that 50-50 engagement. Big elim coming out of Toggle.
You gotta show some respect for Toggle shots right there, flicking at the light and the slightest pixel that moved in front of him. He did not miss a shot, hitting 3 flush pump shots right there, and a flawless edit as well on the player that was just picked up. So Spirit got knocked, he got saved, he got put right back down in the dirt, and then Toggle follows up with the other. Now hopping on over to Shifty Shafts. Looks like we have, so we saw Sid dig, we saw MSI dig, and Rampage have a great last game. They're just outside of the Shifty here, and there's another trio nearby.
Amazing. We're going to be looking at Shifty now, one big place to actually get refarmable mats in. The biggest part about this, you talked about the whole skull earlier for Brick. A lot of teams do rotate the Shifty for that metal, as once again, on this kind of middle side of the map, especially coming out of Tilted Town, yes, you have an increased plethora of mats available from chests, but to knock off and top off all your metal, you do have to rotate and find a lot with other trios as well. So a dope pattern we're seeing in this mid game is a lot of Middle Eastern trios on the same page, moving forward, backwards, and all around the map, knowing the exact power, POI, and farm spots mid game as well, as we see a care package coming down from the top.
That's right, and ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It's Shio Wager, Monster D-Face. We're looking at the Middle East region. We're taking a look at these heats, these games that are unfolding here. A region that we have not covered much of. This is actually, if anything, their debut to the Fortnite main stage here. So to see these players performing under pressure right now, we're looking at our future stars. future names that, you know, will show up for the next World Cup for all we know, right?
Yeah, the scene can only develop more and more and more. They can only review more and play more, which means they'll only get better, and we'll see even greater and bigger things. One big thing I've been seeing these guys utilize mid-game and very early on as well, I want to ask you a question, Monster. What do you think about the uses of shield bubbles mid and end game? When should they be used? How do you manage just having 2 in an inventory?
Yeah, from what I've seen, the shield bubble is obviously one of the most, you know, effective tools to when you become the focus point of a server, but more importantly, the perfect way to isolate a team when you decide, hey, we want to pounce on this target as well, so that no one can kind of interrupt or interfere with your battle as well. So the shield bubble is just such a flexible item, and there is no perfect time to use it, because we've seen it used to also just like clog up lanes for fire, right? Or the way these guys have come up with these innovative methods to stick it to yourself when you're on a bush or in a vehicle per se. So the shield bubble has been a great addition to Fortnite. It makes me miss, honestly, the flint knock, because the flint knock is another great addition, right?
Yeah, it's a versatile item that you can use offensively and defensively at a click of a button, right? The instant actual effect comes there. At the moment now, still more disrespect and momentum. Rampage is causing a scene in every single fight he's a part of. It's great that these guys have such a good spirit when they're playing the game. They're always on point. It seems like they're just having a lot of fun playing these matches, even though we can't hear the comms.
Yeah, I mean, Rampage is really cranking right here. He got that quick knock, it came right back up to high ground, and they're just suddenly resetting for the battle here. But someone's going to get dropped. It's Dig who fell behind, and now this trio is on their back foot here, as someone is looking to dive on them. We're not quite sure who it is that's pressuring them right now, but the fire is coming in from all types of ways. Out comes the poison. Okay, so it's VND and their crew up top on the high ground, really just putting pressure in. Storm keeping them out here. They do manage to get that revive off, and that's one of the perks of trio, right? Trio competitions. One player can save, one can play defense, and we see this executed time and time again. It's not like that in any other game mode, only in trios.
There's so many things as well as just being part of trios. You got that whole 5 more items you can carry as well. You have a whole new role. I remember Bala saying that, you know, when chunk splashes were being introduced and trios were like a concept game mode, you could have just a role of an actual healer in the game. And we see that, you know, the clutch player is usually the one that carries the shockwaves and the RPGs. The support player is usually the one carrying those long-range chunk splashes, the brute force kind of pick-me-up items of the trio, whether it's medkits or extra shields. So it's dope to see that when you have more player slots available, you can dive deep into these roles in your trio.
All right, so this trio here, sitting on the riverbed in a really odd spot. You never want to be in this low ground underneath the mountain at the mercy of all the teams around you. They do have a launch pad, though, and they have a long rotation to make here, so looks like they say, you know what, if we go in the air, we're probably going to get hit out the sky. Let's try our best, right? Go on foot. Try our luck here. They attempted a freebie rotation, and Dig gets punished with a big sniper shot that's okay. He's going to be able to heal up and bounce back, and you know, it was worth it, I guess. They got close enough. They made it to the zone. They didn't really expend all their materials, right? The best of the best teams know how to rotate for free, if you want to call it that, and take the risk to get to where they need to be without wasting material.
Yep, one thing, the kind of relationship towards mid-game and end-game rotations in terms of the resources you have, I think, are materials versus shields.
Yeah.
So if you have more shields, you can take the risk to take and get shots to your HP pool to save those mats, drink those shields up, and then just go for siphon endgame, because it's a lot easier to get it there than to do a big mid-game fight. And me saying that, though,
look at this setup. Look at this setup. Like Rampage goes underneath their build there, looking for the knockdown to see if they can, you know, sweep someone out from underneath their base. They just are not slowing down the momentum from one place to another. They're bringing the battle to anyone nearby. They're hungry to capitalize on the resources and materials here. That was a heavy sniper right there. We have 2 players holding down the turbo build, trying to see if they can, you know, keep control of the wall there. Dig makes the reload on the heavy snipe, so any bust, he can make any wall bust that he wants right now. There it is. He opens up another, takes that one right there, makes a quick edit. Can he connect with the shot? He does. He catches one player, but eats a explode from a grenade launcher from somewhere nearby.
The Siphon comes in, though, keeping him healthy. He's going to keep going forward. One decision he made there is not to put that stair in, but to get the damage off first, which proved good for him. At the same time, he did take a shotgun shot back, as well as an explosive, since he didn't own the stair, and it did get edited the moment that Splode came in. Now we're switching back over to defense. They did get a few mats off that Siphon, his teammates at least. Now he has enough time to actually take over this whole base. They fill up their loaded slots as well with more things, such as shockwaves and a minigun potentially if they want to take it through as well. And they'll top off on the shields they used when they actually rotated in, using them instead of the mats. We talked about that earlier as well.
Yeah, now looking to retreat back to the metal carcass that they left behind. Remember, metal takes multiple shots of Splodes to kind of break open. They actually find a trio nearby. It's going to be a huge pump shot for 104 now, and they're using the side pinch here. And no, another team comes through. He's going to hit the big pump. He's not missing, but it's just not enough to close the deal here. Rampage is left by himself, but I'm sure the comms are, giving out. They're weak. They're definitely weak. Let's see if Rampage can pull it together here. He has 13 minis in the loadout here, and he is going to find... Yeah, there it is. He's got to switch up the loadout here just a bit. Can he get his heals off, though? Can he get the medium bullets? No, he actually only has 5 mediums in the legendary, or in the epic AR here.
Yeah, one thing I was going to notice, even if he does survive, what can he actually do? He kind of just has to stay in boxes, zone to zone, shockwave, and hope to get into someone's box or wreck another trio's game to get back in and online. Because right now, I'm counting him completely out of the running against all these big other trios. You see Namfu right above him and VND below him as well.
That was a worst-case scenario, too. When you hear that team chug splash going off, when you're like, ooh, that was ours. They caught our boy. They're using our resource. They're all healthy. Now you know they're healthy. So that's not a battle he can take. So the VND boys managed to topple the team right there, the Rampage crew, and now make a big rotation here, and they get away with it. They get away with a beautiful launch pad, leading them right into this Storm Wave 6, where we'll get our first moving zone. So we have a nice little stink grenade right there. It's going to put some pressure up, but this trio is so split now.
Now, one thing to big note as well is that these guys are on point with using the proper mats at the proper times. At the moment, they're boxed up before a moving zone. Game plan, you don't want your base to get shaken. You don't want any disturbances possible, so you're using those hard mats to make sure you're not focused. Because no one's going to pop in 3 AR mags of a Scar to break open exactly where your box is, right? So this is very smart for them to just kind of have a little bit of premeditated planning, then using wood later on. They're almost topped up on every mat as well, which is very, very smart from these VND boys. As you said, we talked about it earlier, I love having rainbow loadouts. And right now they have every color on the spectrum available. Shockwaves, miniguns, the Silent Scar, and a bunch of heals to get split over. A very cool thing Hater did right there is dropping that big pot over to his teammate. You never know what happens on rotation. One person might go down. It's good to have loot sparsely kind of allocated between everyone, so everyone has that clutch moment chance.
Double minigun is going to start cooking here as they have a player on the run. It's going to be Weil who gets taken out of his Wilder Screams right there. Unfortunately, in comes a shockwave, and Hadar finds himself in the zone right now. At the cost, of course, of a lot of HP, but there it is. That Elim is converted. Dreamwild falls down, and now Hadar's just got to eat some zone. He's trying to crank his way up this mountain. Such a weird spot to be in. There's a player right underneath him. I wonder if he's going to turn around and try and catch this free pick right here. No, he's just more worried about defense. There it is, little offensive play right there. Can he connect? No, he's going to get taken out. Gets dropped real quick. Now hopping over to Zanzis, Zephyr, and others. You can see just from a nice aerial view of the rotation these players have to make, the struggle that they have going up and over the mountain, and now through what might be the best terrain right here. It's kind of flat. This is where you want to be.
This is where you want to be if you're on the front side of that zone. But anyone at the back on the blue line, once people get based up and realize once Fahad is done drinking these shields, they're going to look straight back for all those elims to come pouring and funneling through. So yes, it's amazing to have flat land, advantageous position.
FHD does pop launchpad as well, just to go and battle for the high ground. So this is that zone wave 6 we talk about, going for early here. He's cooking that minigun right now, trying to see what he can do. Look at his nose. There is another team up high. There it is. This player has been spotted. Melts him right out the sky. Wild Gamer here goes straight down, and the high, the perfect situation. They are just chopping players down. This is just too easy for him at this point.
Yeah, but split solo as well. He doesn't have to worry about his teammates getting in the way at all. It's free reign for Hod right now. Even if he does get knocked down due to low mats, it's the only thing I can see that can stop his reign right now. But his teammates can cover that as well. He's going to keep minigunning down. The shockwave is the perfect thing for him too. Getting people down to white tags, has the shotgun to switch over to as well. Yonks up top. Looks like he actually bit off more than he could chew. The Hod goes down. These guys still have so many Elings right now. 6 with more to come. The zone is just flipping back. Looks like they have an advantage to hold back the whole zone from height as well on hard mats. Shockwaves are the only thing that can stop them from this position.
And the reason it really works out for them, minigun, high ground, in this situation specifically, is because it went right over low terrain. Everything dipped, so everyone's floating on weak builds, weak wood. When the minigun comes chopping, it's taking all that resource, all that material with it, and all these players were just thrown down to low ground. It's hard to defend at that point because you have to block what's coming up from above. You have to protect your floor plank below you. You can see there, he's going to actually use a shockwave. That's actually really odd. He throws a player out to the zone. You see for a second there, the lining did show someone in the storm, so it was successful. And there it is. Someone goes down, but Yonk's still at it. He's looking for the shotgun shot right here. And they're just going to win. They're just going to hold players out. I guess the shockwaves kicking them to the zone was worth. It kind of all went in their favor, huh?
Yeah, it was a very unique ending right there. Very casual. They straight up started doing weird edits on height at the end. Absolutely no respect. We're going to be throwing it over to Sundown to break down more of what we saw in this heat and more. Sundown, what you got?
What I got is some more highlights from the early and mid, and then a